welcome to the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast, episode
7.
number 7. We got it right. Episode number 7. First things first, we want to thank our official sponsor of the show, Jersey Mike's, by providing us lunch and drinks, and Ruby and the gang over there right here in Bedford, their local store here. She runs the show. Great lady and a great team. So stop by, buy a sandwich, tip very well. And this month they are sponsoring, or they're promoting the Special Olympics. So when you go and you buy your delicious sandwich, give a little extra money there and help promote and sponsor the Special Olympics. And also, secondly, we are brought to you by Texas Secure Title. That's where we work, my son and...
What?
Oh, yeah, I said my son.
You messed it up.
Myself and my son, Christian.
Father and son.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So, and we have a great guest with us today. My good friend, Joel Ruiz, is here from Dynamic Realty Partners. And we're excited to have him. We're going to get to know him today and hear a little bit about what he's doing in the real estate world. But first, Joel, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you for having me. Really appreciate you guys inviting me out today. Hello, everyone watching this. First time on camera, so we'll see how it goes. But it should be good. It should be good.
That's all right, man.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're experts by now since it's episode number 7. but,
Yeah, we're great.
But yeah, as you can see, man. So, Joel, man, I'm happy to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming in and just hanging out with us, man. So the first thing we always want to know, man, is we're all in the real estate industry, right? So we already know that portion. But what we want to do is find out who you are. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do currently, and maybe even how you got into real estate. So give us a little bit of history, man, of who you are.
All right, so it always happens, right? We always forget who we are when people put you on the spot.
Not talking is real good for a podcast, too.
Yeah. It's very simple. Some of the things that I like to do are just like on personal time outside of real estate, especially right now that summer's heating up. Hopefully it'll warm up quicker because it's been cold. I like to go out, kind of be outdoors, kayaking. This year I plan on getting into like bicycling, getting on bikes. I heard you shouldn't go on some trails because probably might get a bump or two this year, but looking forward to it. So I want to get into bikes this year. Kind of just being outdoor. I've never been one to be happy inside an office 24/7. I think that's why real estate was such an attractive thing.
Yeah.
Wanted to be outside, driving around, and going to new places. That's kind of some of the things that I do on my free time outside of real estate.
You're born and raised here in Texas?
Oh, yes, that's correct. I was actually born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. I lived all my life except for when I went off to college. I went to Angelo State University in San Angelo, Texas. So any of my Rams out there that are watching this,
There you go.
got a bachelor's in business management with a focus in international business. So I did that. Graduated in 2015, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2015, around that time. So got my bachelor's, thought about going back and getting my master's, but then I encountered real estate, and then that kind of I was like, oh, maybe down the road, but not right now. I'm just focused on real estate pretty much.
There you go.
Yes,
Not
sir.
a bad time to get in, right, with the crazy last few years. So yeah, definitely some good success and good profits, I imagine.
That's correct. I got into real estate in 2019, August. My license became official in 2019, August 2019, September, August 2019. That's when I first started. It didn't start picking up till around 2020. For everybody that knows in real estate, it takes about 6 months for things to get rolling. So I didn't actually start seeing those profits till 2020, right before COVID started. And once COVID started, completely changed everything.
Sure.
I didn't know any better, so I thought it was normal. But all the more experienced realtors said it was a complete conundrum, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
But for me, it was normal. So I'm used to working in the stress mode 24/7. I've been dealing. All my career has been centered around COVID. So
That's true. Stressful. That's good. Well, that's a good way to come in, man. Then you can come down a little if you have to. You know, you already came in at the high level. So, or I want to go step back real quick. So I did see that you posted something the other day. It was a variety of some guns on one of your posts, man. So I was hoping you were at a gun range and not just at your house and in your backyard or something. So tell me a little bit about what you were doing with those guns, man, that you posted.
that's correct. So I'm a big firearm supporter, 2A supporter. I was actually at a local gun range that I go to. It was an indoor one because it was kind of hot that day. And I didn't want to go to the outdoor one and get burned up. So I was on the indoor one in the AC. So yeah, went with a couple of friends, just enjoying the day.
Are those your guns, or were those guns rentals, or are you actually bringing in yours?
Those are mine.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those are mine.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be able to share some of my social media links. You can see those on there if you like that sort of thing, and you can see what I have. A lot of people like them, especially for those people that know the Tavor X95, which is a bullpup rifle, which not a lot of people have. I know I get a lot of stares and I get a lot of compliments at the gun range.
What type of gun is that, man?
We don't know anything about
yeah,
that.
I have
Nothing.
no knowledge of
Nothing,
guns.
yeah.
No, well, it's basically a full rifle. It's a 16-inch barrel, but the way it's designed, like you have all your mechanics behind the trigger, if that makes sense. Like your magazine, your firing pin, everything, it's gonna be behind your trigger, so it makes it more compact without violating any of the rules or laws, federal laws, state laws, etc.
Okay.
So I'm able to have a shorter rifle without breaking any laws.
Oh, okay.
Which is
okay.
the important stuff out there, not to break any laws.
Yeah, yeah. So you can't show up at the gun range with like a sawed-off shotgun or something like that, right? Probably not gonna
Unless
work.
you have unless you paid your taxes and additional taxes to be able to have those, then you can. But
Oh, okay.
I try to avoid paying extra taxes.
Exactly, man. Well, I know when I grew up, my dad, we just had always had a couple guns, but back then, and we're from California, and where we lived, there was a lot of like just at that time a lot of open just field areas. You drive like right out of town, it's just like nothing, absolutely nothing out there. And so he had like 22s, he had a couple rifles, a couple pistols, or handguns, I guess is the right term. And we would just go out in the field and drive out. We'd drive out somewhere in the field, and he would just say, "It looks like a good spot to shoot. Let's just jump off our car and start shooting." We'd shoot at anything, man. We'd shoot at cans, at anything we could find, bottles, We would just shoot. And then I remember the one time we were out there just, messing off, and we seen like this, I don't know, we didn't know what it was. I don't know if it was a bird or something on this post. It was a long way out. And so my dad was like, "Oh, let me try to shoot it," not even knowing what it was. And so he shot, and he got lucky that day, man. He shot, and we just think that thing just fall off like that. So we're all excited. We run out there. Come to find out, it was an owl.
Bro, shut up. I never heard that story.
Oh, yeah. And we were scared,
Y'all
man,
could've
because
been
we didn't
so
know.
much trouble.
Yeah, we didn't know. If we knew that wasn't good, we didn't know what would happen. But, man, we just took off. He said, "Get in the car," and we took off. We didn't even know whose land that was. We were literally just out there shooting in the field, man. So
That's crazy.
yeah. That's not what you do, right?
No, that's not what I do.
You're smarter than that.
You're smarter, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, there was another time too. We were out there, same thing. We're out there walking around looking for rabbits or something, and it was me, my dad, and my older brother, and we hear my older brother screaming. Man, he's running. We're trying to spread out in this field, and he's running with his rifle above his arms like this.
Is Manny?
He has it. No, there's three. And he's running. He's all snake, and he's running like high stepping it, man, over towards us, and we're like, "You have a gun. You have a gun in your hands," but Hey, I guess you didn't realize it, man. All I know is after that we found that snake and we just unloaded on that poor snake, man. Probably like 100 rounds, you know. It was,
Wow.
Yeah. We had nothing else to shoot at, man. So,
Thank
you know.
God you grew up in the 80s. Because you guys would be in so much trouble now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good thing because you said 100 rounds, and I'm doing the math. I was like, that's a lot of money in today's terms.
Yeah.
Everything's so expensive these days, with
Yeah.
ammo especially. Depending on what you're shooting, it's through the
Yeah.
roof at the moment.
I think it was a lot cheaper back then, man. And then we didn't have any of those big guns, you know. It was all 22, you know, caliber. But yeah, so that's about the extent of my shooting or my experience with guns, man. I like them, but I just don't know anything about them. And have you?
No, I've never shot a gun. So with Grandpa, right? It was years ago, so I was probably like 10 or 11 before he passed away. He showed me his guns, or I came across his shotgun in his closet. And so he's like, hey, look at this. I'll let you hold it and touch it. And the first thing I did was put my finger on top of the barrel.
Uh-huh.
And then he just looked at me, grabbed it, and said, don't ever touch my gun again. I said, okay. And that's
Yeah,
probably the last
dude.
time I've ever touched a gun.
Didn't really
Airsoft
work
guns. I've shot airsoft guns, paintball
Airsoft.
guns, but never a real gun.
A little different.
Yeah,
man.
that's what they say.
So, do you actually do hunting? Have you done actually like hunted?
Actually, no, I'm not a hunter
Okay.
at all. It's just for sport. That's pretty much it, but I'm not a hunter. I've been invited to several hunting trips. I'm always politely declining.
Is it because
Yeah.
you just don't want to kill animals, or because you're just not interested?
A combination of both. I just don't like the idea of killing an animal
Yeah.
at the moment, and like my rifles are more designed just for sporting instead of like hunting rifles. That's a different set of rifles that I don't own at the
Okay.
moment.
Yeah.
So I think it has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I have nothing against hunting or anyone that does it, but to me, like when you say hunting, like when I look at the way they hunt today, it's almost like it's like too easy, you know. You're just like you're setting up the animals like with no chance. Like if you want to hunt, like go run after these things, man. You know, get in their environment and
Take a bow and arrow.
yeah,
start running out
yeah,
there and-
yeah, exactly. You know, you have these little duck calls or whatever these animal calls out. Like you just bring them in. To me, that was like when we back in my day, we would have like we were hunting at night or not hunting. We were just shooting at night. But you come across some rabbits, and then boom, you put the highlights on them with the car, and the rabbits will just freeze in the light, you know. And so they freeze, and then we just boom, boom, boom. Like that wasn't fair, man. You know, like we got to be part of their environment, chasing them down. Like if I could chase the animal down and hunt it and kill it, then I would consider
I think
hunting.
you should go deer hunting. Get a deer, right? Kill a deer, easy. And then skin it, and then put the deer over you, and then go back out there and try and hunt the rest of them.
Maybe so,
I think
man.
that's what you should do.
Maybe
Like
so.
1800s
so.
type stuff.
Yeah,
1800s,
I guess
yeah.
I watch too many movies, man. You know. So.
That could be it.
All right. The other thing I know too, man, is you are definitely a coffee drinker.
That is true. The reason I made that facial expression, I don't know if you guys can see it. So right now we're going through Lent, and that was one of the things that I gave up, which is coffee.
Okay.
And it has not been great because I didn't realize my dependence on coffee was so high, but it is.
Yeah.
So my coffee schedule is like morning coffee, and then like lunch iced coffee, and then like a coffee before bed.
Okay.
And then I might sneak another one in there at some point or another. So that's a lot of caffeine.
That
I
is a
know.
lot of caffeine, man. That is. So you go if you drink it before bed, doesn't do anything to you?
No, it's
I'm the
super
same
weird.
way, yeah.
Because it'll be like 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. And I'm like, man, I'm craving coffee. Let's go get some coffee. And I'll get some coffee and I'll drink it. By 11:30, I'm like in bed, like dozing off. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, sleepy. And everybody just finds it amazing that I'm able to just go to bed right after coffee and
Yeah, I'm
not
the
worry
same
about
way.
it.
Same way. Never affects me. It doesn't really do anything for me. Like I'll drink it in the morning, but I just drink it just because. Like it's the thing to do, right? You know, especially you get older. Like drink coffee, you know, and just helps wake you up. But it has no effect in waking me up or keeping me from sleeping.
But if you
It's
don't
just-
have it, do you feel it?
No, I don't feel it at all. The only thing that really picks me up is that I've ever really experienced is Mountain Dew. If I drink a Mountain Dew,
Well, it's as if rocket.
then I'm like all over the place for about 30 minutes, and
I
then
remember
I'm
you used
crashed.
To, you used to always drink those.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's the
No,
only thing.
my choice is just coffee, and it's such a. In my mind, it makes it better because like I'll either be drinking coffee or water. So it balances out, in my viewpoint.
It
It probably it's not balanced at all, but in my viewpoint, it's balanced and it works and it's healthy.
Is your coffee like filled with sugar and creams or?
Depends on what I get. Like some of my favorite coffee spots there's one that's like an horchata latte. So it's like horchata with espresso shots. That's amazing with a little bit of cinnamon.
That sounds good.
That's amazing.
That does sound good, man.
And then there's another one, obviously, it's like espresso shots with almond milk and caramel and stuff like that. Not a big fan of like the blended, like the smoothie ones.
Yeah.
But I am just either iced or hot. And it's most of the time I'm leaning towards iced coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's just how it goes.
Yeah, if it's a hot, it has to be hot. Like, I can't have it cool down. Have to be hot the whole time I'm drinking. At home, I'll heat up my coffee in the microwave. Like, I don't know. If I have one cup, I'll probably heat it like 5 or 6 times just to keep it
Wow.
hot, man. Because cannot drink it when it warms down.
It doesn't warm down.
Or well, it sounds right, right? Warms down? Sounds
Warms
good?
down.
Cools down?
Cools down?
No, warms down.
We forgot to English today. It's fine.
Oh, interesting, man. I know your coffee. I know that also you're pretty good. Enjoy your meals too, because
Your
I've
foodie?
seen some
You're
a
good
foodie?
food, man. You know, you're always posting.
That's correct. I do enjoy food. I don't know if you can tell. Let's hope we can't tell. Because I do try to work out once in a while. You know, balance. It's all about balance, guys.
Eat and work out. Balance,
Eat and work out,
right?
yeah.
It's good balance.
So, you know, you run a couple of miles and you go get yourself a steak. It's protein, so it's
There
good for you.
go.
So that always works out. Yeah, I'm big on food. Just like to try and experience all different type of food. But definitely being Texan, it's definitely brisket and steak. It's way up there on the
Barbecue.
charts.
There you go. Man.
Everything else, I'm willing to at least try, but my go-to comfort place is always like, let's go find a good brisket or let's go find some good steak, some ribeyes or something.
Have you ate at? Somebody told me about a barbecue spot downtown. Well, kind of. Yeah, I guess downtown. Panther City Barbecue.
Been there once. Yes, I've been there once.
Is it good?
I liked it, yes.
All right. That's somebody said it was great, but they were saying like they only cook and when they sell out, they're done. Like they have so much for the day, and once it's sold out, they close.
I think that's correct, because I think when I went there, it was like noonish, so I think they were still.
Yeah.
And it was on like a Tuesday afternoon where everybody's supposed to be working, but you know, we're like, hey, we're hungry, let's go find a barbecue place, and I think that's the place we came across.
At Panther City. I'm yet to
Yeah.
go, but I want to go because I heard some good. I'm like, if you're that good enough that you can sell out and just shut your doors down, it's got to be pretty good, right? So
Right.
you know, you got to usually have a line out the door probably. So yeah, when I had my little hospital stay, I remember one day you posted some good looking steak. I don't know where it was, and I think I told you like. Joel,
Yeah,
Joel.
he did. He called me. He's like, "Where you at?" I was like, "I'm eating." He's like, "Bring it to the hospital.
To the
Leave it under the door." And
I
like,
was hungry, man. I was eating like 4 carbs per meal. They
Oh.
only gave me 4 carbs, man. And I literally asked for like, hey, can I have this? And they're like, no, you can't have that. Can I have a piece of bread? No. Or one time I asked for a little muffin with my meal, and they took the top off. And they just brought me the bottom.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I was on a pretty strict diet then, man. So, when you were posting all those steaks, and I was like, this stuff looks good, man. So, but we'll have to go do it. We'll go do it actually soon, man. We'll go find this.
Yes, sir.
Maybe Panther City. So, we'll try it out again for me. But what else? So, married, kids, no, not married. What's the story there?
Not married, no kids.
Ah, okay,
Yes.
all right. Bachelor life.
Yep, pretty much.
So life's good.
So-
I guess it depends on everybody's perspective, but I think
Yes.
it's pretty good right now.
For now, man. Yeah. How old are you?
I am 30 years old.
30. Oh, yeah, man. That's a good age. Be settled down the next couple years or so, and then I think that's pretty good. I started real young, so I tell everybody, man, take your time and enjoy life, you know. But when did you get married?
I think I was 24.
24?
Yeah.
Okay.
25.
25.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
still young, but it's not too bad. But that's a good age right there, man. So.
Yeah, we started having kids right away.
Yeah, you got to plan it out, man. So somebody tells me you're a planner, so I think you'll be just fine, man. By the time you have kids, you're gonna be like set. You know, it's gonna be.
That's the plan. The plan is to be set, financially stable, and all that stuff. Just hoping to improve on what foundation my parents have already set, and hopefully take that further. And then that way, my kids will have even a better life than I've had, or at least set them up correctly for them to go out and have a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to start taking steps backwards and then starting the struggle cycle all over again.
No, very true.
Yeah,
Very true. Your parents still are they here in Fort Worth?
that's correct.
Okay, awesome, man. That's good. That's good. What else was I gonna ask you, man? I was thinking about something right now. Oh yeah, I wanted to share that story. So, Joel, the first time I ever met Joel.
I love this story. It's ridiculous.
I tell this story all the time too, man, to everybody.
It's so true.
So we had lunch, and I was with the group, and we had lunch, and I'm talking to Joel first time I met him, and we're just, we're getting ready to leave, I think, and so I'm kind of making my little spiel. Hey, give me a call, man. I'd love to work with you real quick. We just had a great lunch. We ate some steak, I think, that day. We were at Saltgrass, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, and then Joel says, "Well, let me tell you this, Mark." He says, "What I like is when I call you, I like if you pick up the phone, answer my calls." I'm like, easy, that's simple enough, man.
basic.
Yeah, basic stuff. And then he says, "But if you call me, I'm probably not going to answer your phone call." I was like, wow, this is, I don't know how this is going to work. But you know what? Hey, we've been doing business ever since, right?
That's
And it's
correct. Okay, it sounds really bad, guys, but it's not that bad.
It does sound bad.
Yeah, tell me why you made that diva statement to me the first time we ever met. Man.
Okay, so different things that you have to know about me. One, so I only call people when there's something wrong. So, I don't like to bother people to begin with. So if there's nothing wrong, there's no reason for me to be calling you and bugging you or anything like that. I'm like, hey, things are great. I'm happy. Clients are happy. We're good to go. There's no reason for me to call you. So if I call you, most of the time it's going to be something bad. Like, hey, something fell off track. Something's not explained correctly. That's the only reason I would call you. Now, the whole portion about not answering, that has to do more with my personality. So by nature, I'm a huge introvert. So phone calls make me panic. Even though I do real estate and most of the things have to do with phone calls, but normally when I make the phone call, I'm prepared for that conversation. I'm prepared what I'm going to deliver, what's being delivered to me. The information's there already. Yeah. So it's like I already have a plan in my head, which makes it so much better for me to make those phone calls and be more efficient with my phone calls. If I'm not prepared for it, I'm going to either be quiet trying to catch up in my head, or I just want to understand what's going on. And so that's the whole thing about not answering sometimes. But I do answer phone calls. So if you're looking to buy or sell, I will answer your phone call. Trust me. I do answer my clients' phone calls. I do answer.
Not the marketing rep's phone call, right?
I answer his phone calls, guys. I answer his phone calls all the time.
Yeah, and you know what? I called you yesterday, and you did answer. That's
exactly.
Right.
So
we talked for like 30 or 40
so
minutes.
I am getting better at that. That's one of the things that I needed to grow in, and that's one of the things I've come a long way in, and actually answering the phone calls. And
so if phone calls terrify you, how does a podcast feel?
Not that bad, surprisingly. I don't know what it is.
Next time we're going to do it on the phone. Let's see how you feel.
It'll probably be so bad on the phone. I'll be panicking. This is not that bad, surprisingly. I don't know. Maybe I should consider becoming an actor.
It's because the cameras are small, so they're not all big.
Probably.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be glancing over to look at it, like,
yeah. I'm gonna edit in every time you glance at it.
Please, thank you. It'll be so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's not that bad. I'm enjoying it a lot. So
awesome. I'm terrible on the phone calls. I don't like talking to people on the phone unless I know them really well, and then we can just talk about anything. But if I'm making like a sales call, cold call, oh man, that's the worst. Put me in front of somebody, that's fine. We'll talk all day long. But just to call someone I don't know and try to, sell them. Give your little spiel. Oh man, I start stumbling over my words and repeating my words, and every time I get out, I'm just like, I'm so stupid, man. They're not gonna want to work with me because I sound stupid. That's why.
I want to see you do a cold call because you're pretty good at most of the things you do, but I think it's because you only do the things you're good at, and so I never see you really fail too bad. So I want to see that happen.
Yeah, phone calls are terrible, man. One day I called this agent twice. Back to back. Like I was all, hey Mark, I meant to, she's like, you called me yesterday.
Oh man.
And I was like, yeah, she's definitely not gonna want to work with me.
You just rip up her card. At
Yeah, I
that
did
point?
really. It's just like, cause I could tell that she got a little like annoyed, irritated.
Yeah.
Like I was giving the same spiel. That was the worst part.
Reading from a script.
Yeah. But oh well, man, you win some, you lose some, So that was hilarious. But yeah, man, that story I like to share with everybody because it's in reality it's pretty true with all people. They just don't say it like that.
I could see that. Like I'm very honest up front. I'm like, hey, this is what you can expect from me, and this is my expectation of you, especially in this business. I think right now, sometimes the expectations aren't laid out, and it causes conflict. So like, hey, we need to mitigate all those expectations.
Yeah.
So I'm very honest and upfront about that, how I do my business, and let's see if we can work together.
Yeah, no, very true, man. I'm surprised by, like you just said though, like we call realtors, and I mean obviously we call realtors, but how much they don't answer, But we just noticed now a lot of people don't like to answer the phone, whether they can or they can't. They're busy or not busy. But shoot a text and you get a response, back. So that's just the way of the world, I guess. It's just moving that direction, So much easier.
That is correct, but in my experience now, with everything going on, like, someone taught me, and he's not here today, but he was like, why would you want to send back and forth like 500 text messages when a 3-minute phone call will get everything answered and cleared up? And it's something that I was like, well, some of us don't like to talk on the phone. And it took me a while to kind of pick up on that. And then I've had situations where I'm kind of texting back and forth trying to explain. It's just not going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Just make the phone call. Make the phone call. Clear everything up in like 2 to 3 minutes. Everything else goes smooth after that. Instead of trying to do a text or even email.
Yeah.
Like even an email, we're just going back and forth, and we're just going in circles. We're not getting anywhere. We're not accomplishing anything at this point. So after that, it's just like, let me just make the phone call. And once we get the phone call and we talk and we cleared it out, it's like, oh, this could have been solved in a 5-minute phone call. Not even 5 minutes. Sometimes it's like 2 minutes. It's like, just tell me what you need. Oh, I get it. And we move on.
Yeah, and you can't convey the way you feel and the way you're saying it via text. I mean, it's hard to.
Anytime I text, my dad's the worst texter. He responds, but his texts are very short. And so being his son, right, like I'm traumatized because of how he raised me. And so and I'm a grown man, like you can't ground me. I'm married, I have kids, and live my own life. And if I'm texting him and his responses are just like, okay, sure, sounds good, I just call him because I'm just like, I need to hear his tone of his voice, and if he sounds happy, you can tell when he sounds happy or when he sounds mad. And so if he sounds happy, I'm like, okay, we're good.
I'm always happy.
Or if he's not happy, I'm like, oh, it's probably Mom's fault. It's not my fault. And then I hang up, and I'm like, all right, we're good. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Texting's cool, but sometimes you do just need to pick up the phone.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like I said, I enjoy talking in person. And if I'm, as we market, I try to get somebody in person. That's the first thing I want to do. It's just, let's go have coffee, let's go have lunch, and, let's talk. And that's the best. But, then it's probably text. And then the last thing for me is probably phone. I'm just like, it just doesn't work. But like I said, unless we're friends already, like we did. I think we spent 30, 40 minutes on the phone yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you were trying to sell me a house. No, I was.
What are you selling the wrong person? Someone needs a house right now.
No, I called him. He posted a house. I was like, I want that house. I want it.
How much was it?
I told him, I said, I want it free. I want no down payment. I want the best interest rate, and I want a cheap house payment. No closing costs. I just want the best deal.
One best deal.
Yeah. That actually was a really nice house, though. So I'm gonna have to look at those further down the road here, man. So, but anything else you're involved in, Joel? Community outreach, man, or is it like, I know you kind of said a little more introvert? So anything else you're doing right now, man, in life, or?
I As far as reaching out to the community, I'm not. I'm horrible at it. Sorry. Apologize.
You support the community though through your purchases.
I do support. I do. I like
Local
to.
coffee shops.
I spend a lot of money at local coffee shops, local restaurants, local everything. So that's
that
my
was-
contribution.
That was the question. What's the favorite coffee shop? What's the
Ah.
best one so far?
Starbucks, obviously.
No, shit, come on.
Actually, I haven't been to a Starbucks in like forever.
I was gonna ask you, are you one of those people that you just won't go to Starbucks or?
Not that I
Dutch
won't go
Bros?
to it. It's just that the ritual normally it's like, oh, I'm craving coffee. Well, let me look at a new coffee shop. Let me see what I can find. And obviously, the first one that always pops up is Starbucks. But then I'm like, no, I already tried their menu. Let me see what else is available. And so I
Not
start
just
looking.
a drink, their menu. You
Yeah, to me, it's a menu. Start looking at their offerings. One of my favorites to go to, it's Summer Moon.
Okay, yes. I've been there.
That's one of my favorites.
They're expensive.
They are, but
Very
they're good.
expensive. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I've been there twice. I went there twice last week.
Really? Yeah. that's-
Yeah, they're good. Their coffee's really good. There's also the one that you took me to. I like that one a lot.
Oh, where did we go? What
The
was
one
name of that
downtown.
Liberty?
Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty?
Coffee. Yeah.
That one was good.
That
I
was
like
pretty
that
good.
one.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to go back, but their coffee's really good. We also went to. There's one also downtown Forward. What's it called? Vaqueros Coffee?
I think I've been there too. I think I've been there once.
Yeah, they have good coffee as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So that's that. And obviously, Dutch Bros is one of my favorites at the moment.
Dutch Bros. Really?
Yes, I really like the Golden Eagle, which is the one with the caramel and stuff like that. Yeah, that one's really good.
What is it called
You're
again?
salivating, bro.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
I know we're making him talk about coffee, and he's giving it.
Yeah, it's coffee.
He's all
All right,
itchy.
top 5 copies.
Top 5 coffee? I don't know. It's so many to choose from. Just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, I forgot, man, that you said you weren't drinking coffee, and we just were
Yeah.
talking about it.
Thank you. It's like,
So do you miss coffee?
Yeah.
How are you
do I
feeling
miss
about
coffee? Yes, I miss coffee. It's been bad.
How much longer?
With
Well,
Easter, next week?
that's right.
I think it's like April. I think it said. I don't know. I think it said like April something. April 15th or so.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't
You got a
know.
little ways to go.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get the all clear sign so I can go to the first coffee shop and just.
From who? From God?
It don't matter from who. Just send me a signal that we're good to go.
Oh man, that is funny. All right, man. The question, Christian, you want to ask the question?
Yeah, what? Now, when you get mad, you seem like a calm guy, but you also said, like, your Hispanic comes out when you get a little angry. So, when you get mad, what is your go-to word or phrase? And don't hold back. You can cuss if it's a cuss word.
In
just have to
Spanish
bleep
or
it out.
English, whatever. But here's the deal: when you say it, you gotta say it like you're actually just lost the deal. You know, that's something that would cause you.
Pretend my dad
to-
cost you $600,000 and you're mad at him.
So we want to hear the word, or whatever it is, and with the meaning behind it. You know.
Ooh, okay, that one.
Or pretend you didn't have coffee for 2 weeks and you're just so mad about it.
At that point, yeah.
You're boiling.
So surprisingly, it takes a lot for me to reach a boiling point. I'm very calm. But if somebody does cost me a $600,000 deal, I would probably have a slight reaction, something to the lines of like I said, I don't like raising my voice. That's one thing. That's
Yeah.
one thing I've learned. Like if you lose control of your emotions, you just lose. Period.
It's true.
So I try to
Very
keep it in check, but like I said, I probably don't raise my voice or anything. It's kind of just like, okay, I get the news that the deal went down the drain, and it's kind of just like, the fuck just happened? Like, you try to just analyze like, at what step did it fall apart at that point, and then after that, it's kind of just like, just gotta move on to the next one.
Done with, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to lose my temper. I try not to dwell on it. I mean, if it's lost at that point. Now, if there's a sliver of hope that I can save it, obviously, like I said, jump on the phone. I'm not gonna text. I'm gonna jump on the phone and try to resolve it.
That's a phone call.
That's a phone call, guys. That is a very fast phone call that I'll make.
So when you get angry, you pick up your phone. You start calling people.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
When I get angry, I start calling
That's
people.
what he said, right? He said when
Yeah.
things go wrong,
Yeah.
that's what he starts.
Yeah. If things start going bad, I'm gonna call you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to keep it calm and level-headed without getting rude or anything like that. But after I hang up the call, it's kind of like, how the fuck did this go wrong? Like, how did it get to this point? Like, I don't get it at that point. But after that, it's kind of just like, okay, let's just move on to the next deal. I still got other clients to deal to work with, to try to get into a home, to try to resolve. Like I said, I try to keep it very, very calm. Yeah. And like I said, I've learned to kind of keep my emotions in check and not let my personal emotions get in the business, in the way of business, and then end up causing a lot of damage to people. Because at the end of the day, it's not my money, it's not my house, it's my client's house, and I have to do everything I can to make sure they get that house without letting my personal emotions get in the way.
Very true. No, I think that's very good advice, very good way to work, man. Now I would just speculate. We know the other half of the team is not here today, but I would speculate Josh is maybe a little more. I don't know that he goes with language. Maybe he does, maybe he does. But I would say he's a little more probably animated. Yeah,
he is. He's a little bit more vocal than I am.
Shout out to Josh, man.
So yeah, Josh, if you're watching this, I'm gonna put you on blast.
There you go, man.
So me and Josh have opposite personalities. Josh is more out there. He's more extroverted than I am. He's more out there. I'm more reserved. So I always tell people, we work as a team. We work as a unit. And most of the time, I'm taking care of things. And I always tell people, I'm the good one. I'm the calm one. I'm the relaxed one. Once things start getting transferred over to him, you got to deal with him. He's going to be more loud. He's going to be more vibrant in his expressions of what he thinks about you. Not to the sense where he's rude, but he's just like, you'll feel it through. Like we're talking about the tone, the delivery of things. Like I said, I'm more calm. He'll pretty much let you know that the deal's dead at that point, and there's nothing you can do to resolve it unless you're gonna go above and beyond, which is very hard to go above and beyond and already in a market that's crazy to begin with. But yeah, he's more. That's just more of his personality that comes through once he gets frustrated with a certain situation. Most of the time, we try to avoid going there to begin with. Like I said, I'm usually trying to just keep everybody calm and relaxed, trying to get through the deal.
Yeah.
But even if I get to the point where I'm just like, I'm done dealing with this, you make the phone call. Yeah. Once he makes the phone call, it's going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to be solved or it's going to be dead. One or the other. There's no in between. There's no compromise. Once it gets to him, there's no compromise like at that point, because at that point, you already had all the chances to compromise to work it. At that point, it's it's either this way or nothing. That's it.
Well, and Josh is, I'm Mexican. You're Mexican, right? Mm-hmm. Josh he's not Mexican though, right?
No, Josh is Puerto Rican.
He's Puerto Rican.
Yes,
there
sir.
you go. There you go, man. Yeah, that does explain a lot. That Puerto Rican blood, man. That's fast. That's fast blood, man. They talk fast. They just work.
He does talk a lot faster than I do. Yeah, I'll give you that.
That is funny, man. Well, Josh, we're gonna get you on the show here, man, soon. But both of you guys back and do this. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it next time. But I wanted to give a little jab to Josh there, man. But all right, man, we got like 15 minutes left. I told you time goes by.
Oh, it does.
Quick,
man.
By. So, in the next 15 minutes, tell us what you're doing right now, just in real estate, whether it's what you guys are specializing in, or if you're just, man, obviously you'll take all business, we know that, but with you and Josh right now, what are you guys doing or focusing more in on, or what do you have going on, man? We just really want to give the next 15 minutes or so to that. So tell us a little bit right now about what you guys are doing.
Okay, so, besides doing the traditional residential real estate and land and stuff like that, Josh, I'll start with Josh. Josh has a speciality in commercial. That's his bread and butter. He's done a lot of commercial in his life. That's what he enjoys doing, a lot, commercial. So we do commercial, any budget. Josh is really good. He has a lot of contacts for commercial lending, big buildings, and stuff like that. So if you're a realtor and don't have a commercial connection, I suggest, reach out to us. We'll be glad to talk to you guys, especially set you up with Josh. He'll definitely be able to help you get through your commercial. He has a lot of contacts in banks for lending. If anybody out there knows, commercial lending is a little bit different than residential lending. So he has connections for that. He's really good at reading financial statements and stuff like that. All the stuff that's not taught to realtors, because that's not taught to us. That's something that he's learned through experience, working in big banks throughout his career before he got into real estate. So he brings all of that to the table. So it helps us, be able to target that commercial market as well. For me, I primarily do residential, and we do all residential, guys. We, luxury, normal, mobile homes, land, construction, new constructions. We've done a lot of new constructions in our careers. But what we're most excited right now, and this is something that some of you, if you follow my social media, have seen, I'm actually in the process of becoming an MLO, loan officer. The reason we decided to take that step for us is because we just wanted to help our clients more. As you guys know, there's a lot of situations where, without trying to break any rules and stuff like that, you can't really tell your client what's going on, so you have to send it back to the loan officer, and loan officers get busy, and sometimes they're not able to communicate it properly, or this or that. Just life happens. So we're like, oh, well, this way, if I'm involved in the process, I'm able to talk freely. We're able to look at both sides, the actual home side and the loan side.
Yeah.
And I'm able to explain the process a lot better to our clients. And therefore, they feel more confident buying, especially right now that the market is so crazy. What most people need in order to move forward is just confidence, and like, hey, this is what I'm getting, and I understand all sides of it, not just one side. So for us, it was more about bridging that gap that's there, that's naturally there, that's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But this way, I can blend it a little bit better and help our clients out, and hopefully in the future, not just help my clients out, but help your clients out, because I'll be able to understand you as a realtor, and then your client as a client, because I've been in that position. I'm going to be in that position, and I'll be able to better help your clients out as well.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, man. And like I said, so you already have the client, or if it's a deal you and Josh are doing, and the client, and you actually do the loan on the other end. I mean, I think we talked a little bit yesterday. It's kind of just a one-stop shop where you can feel comfortable with both, because again, as an agent, you have your client, and then you send them to your loan person, but it's not always a guarantee that they'll click as the way that they may click with you in relations, even though, just because that's a whole nother person, right? So this kind of keeps it all right there, and I would imagine that would allow the flow to just be even, and the comfortableness of saying, okay, I'm showing me the houses, I'm going to buy a house from them, and they're also helping me get the loan.
That's correct. I think that's going to be the ultimate goal. We'll see how it works out. But that is the goal, just to try to see if things can go smoother. Just overall, just smoother process for everybody involved.
Yeah.
I do work with great loan officers at the moment, and I'm very proud to work with them. So at this point, it's kind of just like, hey, let me just learn it, figure it out. Let's see if I can, like I said, for me, it's all about bridging that gap that's naturally there.
Yeah.
Sometimes clients ask me, well, what's my interest rate? What's my monthly payment? And as a realtor, we can only use our calculators, estimates. It's not exact numbers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of numbers that we can't even quote to begin with. So we always have to go, hey, you have to go to the loan officer. Well, sometimes client wants the answer there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they won't reach out. So then, the same question pops up a week later. And it's like, well, I asked you to go to the loan officer. And then the clients are going to come up with, oh, well, I got busy and I forgot, but now it came up again. And it's kind of one of those situations. At least this way, I feel like I'm in the loop. Yeah. I know their questions. I may not be able to answer it on the spot, but at least I'll be able to go back and answer. And then, hey, so from a conversation from earlier, here's the answer to what you were asking.
Yeah.
and it's just to bridge that gap. Yeah, so that's all the whole purpose.
Yeah, I think it's a great move, man. Great move. What are you seeing out there right now as an agent in the market? Still crazy? Still everybody overbidding and outbidding and just are we still seeing all that? Has it slowed down any?
It's still there, guys. Everything, all of the above. Everything's still crazy. Everything's still way high on price. People are still overbidding. There's still a shortages of homes from the last stats that I checked. I think it was still super low. For those that don't know, interest rates are going up.
Yes.
So we're not sure. I'm hoping that with higher interest rates, either the price of homes will stall where they're at and kind of level out, or maybe they'll start to drop, seeing that people are going to think twice about buying a home at a higher interest rate. So it's kind of just, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Once enough, all the new people that are getting their loans, we'll see what happens once they start seeing those higher interest rates out there, how that changes the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked with a lender, had lunch with a lender yesterday, and we're just talking about the market, and obviously the inventory is low. And he's like, yeah, he goes, I got I think he said almost 40 pre-calls, but there's no houses. He's got 40 different people ready to go, but there's no inventory. And so just waiting, to have that. And I was like, wow, that is, it's just a crazy time right now. So you haven't seen a slowdown in the sense?
No, I think, no, I haven't seen a slowdown. I was doing a search for a client last night, and based on the criteria and the price point, there's no new builds under 240. No new builds whatsoever. So we were looking at that. So we're looking at other options. And then just the amount of homes, let's say under 240, 250,000, it's less and less every time. It's very few homes that are
because the prices
move-in ready.
Keep going up, right?
So now, if you want a first-time home buyer and you're ready, your first home, if you want something nice in a nice neighborhood, it's gonna be 280 plus.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people I just need a home at the moment, then it's okay, so we can go lower, but it's not gonna be a dream home. Obviously, it's gonna be just a starter home, and that's a lot of things that I try to explain to my clients. What are you looking for? Is this gonna be your permanent home for the next 30 years? Or is this just a 5-year thing? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
And it's what are your plans? Do you have an idea? So I try to base a lot of my real estate based on just education and letting them know, hey, you're a young couple. You make good money. Do you really need a $400,000 starter home? Or would you be better off an option B, which is in the a condo or a townhome or something like that? It's just gonna be you two.
Yeah.
I'm do you really need the 4-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom new build that's $450,000?
Yeah.
I try to educate them, give them options, let them know, hey, there's a growth process to this, and that's where I base a lot of my real estate from.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll ask you this question. We've got about 7-8 minutes left. So. First-time home buyer comes in, they want to buy a home, whatever home they end up buying, let's just say they buy a home with you and whatever the price range is. But what's I guess how to frame the question is they get the home, they're paying $2,000 a month or whatever, let's just say for practical purposes, they're paying $2,000 a month, but then the taxes go, taxes come and the taxes go up. How does that affect them in their payments? So they're paying $2,000 now, and then the taxes go up. What are they looking at? And does it always have to go up? Can they do something for those taxes not to go up and the payment not to go up? How is that? What are you seeing right now in that world?
So based on that scenario, if your loan is designed that your taxes get paid through your loan, through your monthly payment, if your property taxes skyrocket, then your monthly payment most likely is going to go up because they have to make up that deficit to pay your taxes on time. So at that point, the only thing you can do is try to do fight your property taxes. Most of the time, you just have to reach out to your local realtor, ask them for a CMA, market analysis, to try to determine what your house is worth, and then compare that to the tax records to see if they have the same value or is their value higher. Because if their value is higher, that accounts why you're paying more for taxes, obviously, because it's based on the value of your home. So now, if as a realtor, I'm like, hey, your house is only worth 300, but the city has it at 375, then you can be like, no, well, my house is only worth 300. So that would cause them to drop it. But at the same time, like if I do a CMA and it's like, well, your house is priced correctly, there's not much you can do about it at that point. As of right now, I don't know if they would be able to refi the home under a different loan product that could possibly give them a lower monthly payment. But that's going to take a lot of more factors, such as the actual appraised value of the home, whether you already have 20% equity in the home or not. The reason I mentioned the 20% equity, if you get a loan which less than like an FHA 3.5% down payment, then you're gonna have what it's called MIP, mortgage insurance premium, and that's a surcharge and like an insurance on the actual loan, not the home, the loan.
Okay.
So that's gonna cause your payment to go up a little bit. But if you already, let's say you paid off 20, 22, 23, 24, 25% of your home's value, then you can refinance or try to remove that MIP or PMI, depending on which type of loan you have, which is the same thing. And then that would cause your payment to drop a little bit.
Okay.
So it just depends on where you're at that point.
Yeah.
Now, and there's many, many different ways to do that. The best way would be, if you're in that situation, contact me and I'll put you in contact with a loan officer at the moment and see what they can do for you.
Okay. Yeah. I just had, because I had a guy was telling me that, one of his clients, the payment went up like $800 a month. And I'm just like, well, then how in the world are they going to afford that? Unless they got the greatest jobs in the world, but that's a huge hike. So it's just like, gosh, So I don't know, again, just because the market is so crazy right now that we're seeing those things happen, or, obviously taxes are always around, but.
Yeah, taxes are always around, but it's based on your, property values. For example, and I'll use my home for this, so somebody's going to be jealous. Our property taxes, for the most part, last couple of years, before 2021, was always about $800 to $900, just because of the neighborhood that we live in and stuff like that. Well, recently in our neighborhood, there's been some new builds. Not only that, but I live very close to Texas Wesleyan University, and they've been expanding and kind of pumping money into the neighborhood. So all of that has caused property values to go up overall. The effect of that, the effect was that our property taxes went up to about $1,100. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're used to only paying $800 to $900 max, and now it's $1,100, and you start going like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, well, there's a lot of new builds in the community. They're building brand new homes, and Texas Wesleyan is pumping money into the community and just building and stuff like that. So all of that's causing property values to go up. So therefore, it's causing your property taxes to go up.
Yeah.
It's just natural, direct correlation.
Yeah. At the same time, the value of your home is from going up as well.
Especially,
increasing. So, it's just, I don't know. It's just wild, man. It's just, I feel bad for some people that are, like you said, new home buyers that get in and then they buy too much of a home and, and then it's just, you're there a year or two and it's too expensive, and then all of a sudden, you either lose the home or you got to sell it, do whatever you got to do. So I think the advice, that's why the agent's there, right? To give that advice, to give that counsel, and hopefully steer them in the right direction.
That's correct. Like I said, I really do base my business based on education. Try to give them as accurate numbers as possible, what they're going to be facing, the risk of buying now versus the risk of buying later, what it could possibly be in the future for them, situations like that. And that brings me back to, like I said, becoming a loan officer with interest rates going up, a lot of people are going to be like, well, I don't want to buy now. Because they're going to be hoping that interest rates fall. They could fall, in a year. They could go up higher in a year. You never know. So at least this way, as a loan officer, I'll be able to provide a solution for them. If they buy now, down the road, hey, interest rates fell, want me to refinance your home, it'll drop your payment.
Yeah.
Or I could also tell them, hey, you have enough equity in your home now where we can refinance it, drop your payment because we'll be getting rid of those MIP, PMI better. And then that way for me, it's like, hey, I'm educating not only now, but for the future possibilities. I'm already thinking of solutions and we haven't even bought the house.
Yeah.
Like I'm already trying to put that peace of mind in their head that it's like, hey, it's going to be fine if you buy a house now. You're not going to default. You're not going to go into bankruptcy. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you're safe down the road.
Exactly.
And that's what I base my business on.
There you go. I think it's the right way, man. Well, our time has come to an end, man. I told you this hour was going to go fast. So real quick, Joel, just give your name, your number, man, your company, email, whatever you want to put, the next minute, just give a quick plug for yourself as to how people can reach you.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. My name is Joel Ruiz. I'm broker by Dynamic Realty Partners. My cell phone number, if you have any questions, would be 682-554-4461. But it's probably the best way to reach me. But if you're more of an email person, you can reach me at joelrealestate91@gmail.com. And I look forward to talking to you guys.
And bilingual.
Oh, I am bilingual. Sé español. Soy bilingüe. Yeah.
Big key right there, man.
Yeah.
So big plus. So Joel, thank you so much, man, for joining us today. Thank you for the business as we do work together. Tech Secure Title and Bridget over there and the business you and Josh have brought. I appreciate you. It's awesome getting to know you and know you better. I just look forward to the future.
Thank you.
And definitely get you guys back, you and Josh.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Thank you.